Welcome back, Lucid Perspective channel. It is Thursday, March 21st, 2024. Today, what we're talking about, NPCs. Are you an NPC? Do you know if you're an NPC? How can you identify an NPC? Do you have NPCs in your family? Do you have NPCs at your job? Do you have NPCs in your house? These are the questions. First things first, what is an NPC? If you don't know what the acronym NPC is, generally it means non-playable character or non-player character. It's a video game term for those characters in certain video games, mostly role-playing games, where you as the user can't play the character. They're just for the storyline. They maybe have dialogue. They have a purpose in the plot, but it's not something you can control. It's just an extra person, a being, entity in the game that's there for plot that you can't control, right? So that's what an NPC is. So the question being, what are NPCs in the real world, in the physical realm? Some have different theories about who these people could be. I believe mostly NPCs don't know that they're NPCs. I guess that's the purpose of it, right? Is you're an entity, you exist in this realm. Your purpose is you are just here. And outside of that, supposedly, apparently, you don't have a soul. You don't have your own mind to think. You don't have consciousness, so to speak, right? And you're just here to interact, to take up space. And sort of like how your purpose is in the video game, you're just a plot point. You're here to interact with other NPCs and people, real people, so to speak, with souls and agendas and purposes. And so you're just a figment of this reality's existence, so to speak. I do believe out of the 8 billion people on Earth, I do believe most are NPCs. I do believe that, but I can't put a number to it. I don't think NPCs is a permanent thing, okay? And I'm putting my philosophy in this. I'm putting my twist on it. I believe you can be an NPC, but I do believe everyone has the ability to awaken from the NPC state. And the reason I say that is because 100% humbleness and honesty and admission can say that I was at one point in my life an NPC. And I guess this will be my criteria, right? That maybe you can assess on yourself. And if you can assess on yourself, then you may not be an NPC. But I got basically 3 criteria that define what I would call an NPC. First criteria of an NPC is blind allegiance to authority. That's number 1. That could be a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say blind allegiance, and I think it's important to call out these terms and call out these definitions, because you can have allegiance to an authority, right? You could name an authority. You can have allegiance to it for whatever specific reason. If it makes sense to you, if you have information to back up your allegiance and you feel justified in that allegiance. But the reason you have to add blind allegiance is when you don't call into question or even think outside of the box that this authority, whatever it is, may not be for you or may not have your best interests at heart, right? And I feel like a lot of people have that. A lot of people do have blind allegiances to certain authorities. There's no question. This is the authority. This is what they say. I'm all in, right? I don't think that's healthy. I think it's okay to ask questions. I think it's okay to question authority. Get your answers, and depending on your response from that authority, you can go from there. So, number 1, if you have a blind allegiance to authorities, you might be an NPC. That's the first criteria. Blind allegiance to authority. NPC trait number 1. NPC trait number 2. And I've been hearing about this on the internet. I'm sure probably you guys have too. These people out there that make the claim that they don't have an inner voice. Now, I know I'm not a psychologist. I know when it comes to internal brain activity and psychology, there's different levels of thinking. There's different ways people interpret reality and all that. I've always had an inner voice my entire life. So although I did have blind allegiance at some point, I always had an internal voice. So this maybe debunks my whole that I was an NPC. But anyway, if you don't have an inner voice, if you're one of those people that are online getting into debates about having an inner voice and you don't have one, And I can't even function. I can't even imagine what that could even be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have an inner voice. I talk to myself. It's the same voice that you hear now. I guess for those people that don't have that inner voice, like everything they say out of their mouth is what they think, right? And so they don't have an internal dialogue. I can't even imagine how you can exist without that. I could be wrong, but I honestly feel like if you don't have an internal dialogue, you might be an NPC. But that's my number 2. If you don't have an internal monologue, you might be an NPC. Third criteria of being an NPC. If you don't wonder about the universe, you don't wonder about reality, you don't wonder about creation, you don't wonder about our purpose here, our existence here, I think that's NPC-ish. I think most people who have a soul wonder about our purpose here on earth, about the existence of reality, the existence of our lives, the purpose of our lives, the purpose of creation, the purpose of all of this. How does all of this work? Why are we here? What is the purpose of reality? What is the purpose of our 80 to 100 years of life, death, reincarnation, coming back, whatever you believe? If you're one of those people here, and I'm going to put this out there, and I truly believe this, if you are one of those people that think all of this has no purpose, all of this existence has no purpose at all, it's like we're here for a blink of an eye, and then we die, and then there's nothing else after this, there's nothing before this, there's no purpose to being here, you know what I'm saying? This is it. What your 5 senses picks up is it. If you're one of those people, I honestly believe it's a good chance you could be an NPC. Because that thinking to me kind of puts you in a place where it's like you're here, you got your 5 senses, whatever information you take from those 5 senses is everything, and there is nothing outside of that, right? And you don't believe in a before life, you don't believe in an afterlife, you don't believe in reincarnation, you don't believe in any type of spirit, you don't believe in the soul. If you're a person that doesn't believe in souls or spirits, that's a little NPC-ish, okay? That's definitely NPC-ish. So those are my 3 reasons, my three top potential reasons you might be an NPC. Blind allegiance to authority, no inner voice, and you believe there is nothing before or after this realm, this world, these lives that we live. You think this is it, and once you die, you cease to exist, and there's nothing else. If you got those 3 traits, you might be an NPC. But good news is, I don't believe you're stuck. I believe NPCs can wake up. Okay, so I would never put anything out there saying you're an NPC, you're donezo. I don't believe in that personally. I have had NPC-ish traits in my life. I've always had an inner voice, but I've had NPC-ish traits, and I don't anymore. So am I awakened? I don't know. I could be. I believe I am, to a degree, right? I don't think anybody's fully awake until you're dead. Once you die and you're out of here, I think you know everything there is to know. You learn or you remember everything there is to know about this realm. Then you have another step. Maybe you're in the next life or you come back or whatever the case have you. There's all different type of theories about that. But that's the video for today. Share this, like this, comment if you agree, if you disagree. Do you have other criteria that make someone an NPC? Let me know. If you have a different list, let me know. Definitely love to talk about it. Also, please, really quick, check out kick.com/Lucid Perspective. I still got the documentary channel, 24-hour documentaries. I'm about to change the rotation, so I'm about to add in 10 new ones. So if you've been watching and you kind of be catching the same ones, it's about to change. And it's kick.com/Lucid Perspective. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. I'm out.